Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to the webinar. My name is Dr. Kurt Fiznick, and we'll get this thing rolling right now. It's 7 o'clock. It's the top of the hour, and I want to cover a few things. First of all, if you're on this webinar, chances are you're not here to find out about another product. You're not here to find out how great the products are. You already know. You're in business, and you're in business for yourself to build a little business that might pay you some money, some residual income, money that comes in every month. And it can be a supplemental income. It could be something that helps you out when you're, just to make up for the little bit more that you need at the end of the month when your paycheck runs out, or maybe you're like me. Maybe you want to have a full-time replacement income for something that you lost. And like for myself, I got in a bad motorcycle accident. I didn't have a plan B. And, I look back at it now and I remember all the opportunities that I had when I was in my clinic over the course of the last 30 years. How many opportunities were presented to me? How many opportunities could I have gotten involved with? And I look at that and I think, it's probably a lot. I mean, just off the top of my head, I would say that I had like 30 different opportunities that were presented to me. And I would say, no, I don't want to get involved with that. Although I did get involved in one way. I sold some of the products because I found that network marketing products were somehow a little bit better quality than the products that you would get over the counter. And so I liked using products from network marketing companies for that reason. But I never really got involved with the business. But by using the products, it gave me the opportunity to get to know some of the leaders in the field, in the industry. And when I got in my motorcycle wreck and I realized that the guy that ran me over and nearly ripped my leg off didn't have any insurance, I wasn't going to be getting any settlement. When I got out of the hospital, I knew that I'd have to generate my own income. And so from the hospital bed, I called my friends that had made some pretty good money in the network marketing industry. And I asked them, I said, what's the first thing that you need to do? And they said, find the right company. Find a company that you can wrap your arms around. You can say, this is my company. These are my products. This is Dr. Kurt's business. And it took me a while. I had to look at a couple different companies before I ended up here with Sisel. And they say that typically for most people, it does take the third company before you really start making some money. And I was having a discussion with a friend of mine the other day, and Don couldn't be here tonight. But Don Olson, he and I have been friends for 5 or 6 years now. And Don is a graduate of West Point. He's a very strict on his routines and keeps himself in good physical shape. But he understands the network marketing industry. And when he went looking for a company to join when he got done with West Point, he interviewed different leaders from companies like USANA and Amway and Nu Skin. He interviewed leaders from those different companies. And same thing that I found, they said, go out and find a company that you can really call your own. And that's how he ended up over here at Sisel as well. He wasn't recruited by somebody. He found it all by himself. And anyhow, Don was going to be with me tonight, but he ended up being in a meeting that he couldn't get out of. And so he's not here with us tonight. But I just wanted to share that because, we're all looking for something. We're either looking to get away from something or we're looking to go towards something. And so think about that. But anyhow, here's a video that I recorded. It's Aaron Rennert at Mower Mountain last week. And I thought it was an excellent presentation. So I saved it for you all for here tonight. And let me play that here.
Opportunity, but I want to talk a little bit about, are you in You know, when I sat down and talked to Milo and Thomas, I said, are we in business? Are we in business? What are we doing about our business, and how are we helping others achieve success in this business? And if we treat it like we just have a lot of customers and we're selling product, that's okay. That's part of the business. If we treat it that we're out there trying to help people achieve something greater financially, that's okay too. It's not a negative. And one of the things that I love is that, unfortunately, we've got a lot of people that day to day are living on a paycheck away from financial disaster. Does that make sense? There are so many people, the research from the Federal Reserve found that 4 in 10 people, or Americans at least, couldn't afford a $400 emergency. 22% said they would expect to forego payments on some of their bills if they ran into a financial emergency. So why are we so afraid to talk about the business? Why are we so afraid to have the conversation? We shouldn't be. As a matter of fact, 78% of the U.S. workers are living paycheck to paycheck. 40% of the Japanese people are living paycheck to paycheck. The number's still not great at 40%. It's horrible at 78%. How do we help people change that? And it's up to us to help people understand that retirement may not be all it's cracked up to be, right? How many of you expect to retire at 65 that are under 65? How many people expect to retire at 70? How many people expect to retire at 75? How many people expect never to retire and have to work the rest of their lives?
Only with Sisel.
Well, that's Tom Sr., and I'm telling you, you can't beat him into the office, and you can't beat him out of the office. So he expects to work for the rest of his life, and he's actually creating products that will allow him to live until 125, maybe 150. Although if you ask Tom Jr., yeah, if you ask Tom Jr., it's just to antagonize Tom Jr. So we'll see. But we've got an average of 65 years old. It's the average age that people are retiring. Of course, we get into Australia, 62 is the number. Retirement income. These are real numbers that I pulled out of the statistics world. The average person in the United States will retire with $1,412 coming in per month.
Not enough.
Scary? I think so. Japan, $1,350 US dollars. Europe, I use Germany because I have Arno here today. $2,711 US dollars. Australia, $1,100, $1,100. And then New Zealand is $900. Do you really think that your quality of life is going to be fantastic if you retire with that income?
No.
So why are we so fearful of talking about the business and supplementing the income and creating a residual income for the future? Why is that so scary to us? People are screaming for it. So, in the world in retirement, 49% of the people said they need financial security to retire well. They said we need it, we have to have it. So almost half the people, 28%, only 28% said that they feel financially secure for their retirement. Only 28% of the world's population. That's not very many people, folks. In the Japanese, they expect to spend only 12 to 17 years in retirement. So think about that. They plan on either working a little bit longer and having less time, because I can tell you the average age in Japan is longer than the average age in the US. So they expect that they're going to have to work longer years in order to retire for only 12 to 17 years, whereas the rest of the world is 15 to 20 years. So it's a very different equation, but only by 3 years, okay? So when we talk about the conversations, we've got millennials driving 40% of the financial conversations on Facebook. We had Sophia talk a little bit about trends in the world of social media, but that's where you're seeing a lot of these conversations being generated. Of course, that's in Facebook, where you're seeing a lot of millennials move away from Facebook anyways. Then you've got about the majority of the chatter that's on Facebook is by females, not males. Okay? So the females are driving the conversations. More than 60% of all content pertaining to peer-to-peer payments, loans and mortgages, banking, investments, and credit cards is dominated by females. Okay? Pretty big number. Here's the interesting thing. Did you know that men drown at twice the rate as women? Why do you think that is?
We get in the water.
We get in the water. That's step one. Whether cold or warm, we get in the water. Basically, it's this. A man will look at a lake and say, I can swim across that lake. Unfortunately, they get halfway over and they go, wow, this is a long ways, and then they realize they're too tired to go any further and they die in the middle of the lake. Women are more emotional. Women will think about it and say, you know what, there's no way I can swim across that lake. I'm not even going to try. Here's the difference. Women think with about 35% emotion-based thought process and decision-making, whereas men are only less than 5%. Okay? Interesting, right? So men are more logical, more rational. We think, oh, we can do it, we're dudes. Whereas women are thinking about it from the perspective of, look, let me think about this. Let me see how I feel. Once I see how I feel, then maybe, but I don't know. That still might not be something I want to do. So we have to think about it from that perspective. Tom Sr. and I have had some of the funniest dialogues over the years because we'll talk about our relationships, right? He has more than I do. But we'll talk about the female world, and I'll say, oh, I'm this or I'm that, and we'll laugh about it because 35% of the emotion. How do you work with an emotional person? It's different. You have to tug at those heartstrings. You have to have those conversations. Jason said it kindly, but I'm a vulnerable person. I don't mind. I'm okay with you knowing what's going on inside my world. I'm actually happy to tell you some of the things that are going on. But I want you to know that we're spending a lot of time when we talk about the world that we live in, we're spending a lot of time talking to the people, the guys that are going to tell you no. And the women that are going to say, wait a minute, let me think about this. Tell me more. Tell me your story. Help me understand how it works. So if 76% of network marketers are women, who are we talking to? Who's our base of conversation? Studies show that the number of wealthy women in the United States is growing as fast as wealthy men. Okay? In America, 45% of millionaires are women. Is that good? Yeah. I only hear a couple of women. There you go. Of these women, 60% of them earned their own fortunes. They were given nothing to get started. And they went out, and entrepreneurial, they went out and sparked up an idea and started building a business. Okay? Estimates show that by 2030, women will control as much as 2/3 of the global wealth. So women, I want you to know, you are driving the business. Right? So, somebody mentioned Laura Bacini earlier. I think it was Jason, or it might have been, it could have been somebody. But anyways, I always have said, if you want to stay busy, follow Laura Bacini around the world. Seriously. There is nobody busier than Laura Bacini, in my opinion. If I said I want to go out for a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, as a matter of fact, Milo, I think your entire month of October is filled on a calendar basis by Laura Bacini and her group. So that's what happens. They're organized, they have calendars, they want to make sure people are on time. Those are the things that happen. Dudes, not so much. We show up, we make it happen. Here's the interesting thing. Average age at Sisel, 49 years old. That's where we're sitting right now. 2 years ago, it was 50. We're bringing down that demographic a little bit. The look, the feel, the branding, the recognition, all of those things are starting to play into it. Female, we have 77% of our base is female. Only 23% is male. Maybe I'll give 1% to maybe something we don't know. But, nowadays. But, we've got an interesting dynamic. So why are we so afraid to talk about the money? Why is that? You don't know what people are are dealing with. You really don't. DW said it one time in a meeting years ago, and it's never left my brain. I don't know what you're having a problem with unless I start talking and then I listen. Scott mentioned it earlier. Listening and observing. That's the key. Listen, observe, be willing to take it in, and then have thoughts and ideas and constructive feedback. But until we ask the questions, hey, how are you paying your rent, your mortgage, your car payment, your utilities? What are you saving for? What's your next big purchase? What's your next big step in life? And those are the things that we need to think about as we start to prepare to go into that next level of our business. And I'm telling you, when I first started going out to the Amish community, here's the interesting thing, and Marianne, I won't put you on the spot by any means, but I will, but I won't. I might, but I might not. Here's the thing. When I first started spending time out there, it was like, don't talk about any money. Don't say a word about the money. Don't even talk about financial. Don't talk about anything that has to do with it. Just talk about products and how great they are. Hey, there's an opportunity. If you want to learn more, let's step off to the side, right? Then people started making some money. And all of a sudden it was okay. And it was like, oh, I like having a little bit of extra money around the household. I got a super cool text from Marianne last night. We paid into your e-wallets last night, right? Marianne sent off this super wonderful text that I love getting. She usually sends me one once a month. And she said, not once a month, but this type of text. But she said, I can't tell you how excited I am about what I have been able to accomplish here at Sisel. And I want you to know that I want everybody on my team to have the same opportunity of success and of income. And here's the interesting thing. That's where we are at as a company. We want to see everybody have great success. And great success is wonderful. But success, as I've always said, doesn't just mean your wealth. It has nothing to do with just wealth. Success is also your health. Success is your wealth. Success is your ability to have social interaction. And so when we talk about it, we're really talking about the human capital business. We're really talking about the ability to help people understand that what we're doing actually does change people's lives. And we can do it together. We can help them achieve great success. But we have to work together. We have to be unified. The unity is what will build this business. If you are distracted and competing and trying to break things apart and divide, you will not have success and your team will not do well. I can tell you that right now. But if you're willing to give people the opportunity to learn and understand what it is that we have to offer and how you have to work together to get there, you will be able to find out that there's a lot of opportunity out there. So I put up here Mindsight. It's really the ability to understand the internal world that we live in and how we focus our awareness on ourselves or on someone else. Babies come with the ability to understand and be able to get inside the head and interpret what's going on. When the mom or the dad bend over a baby and they stick their tongue out, and the baby goes, I watched it the other day with Scott Murdoch.
Scotty, were you the baby?
So I had Scott on my lap, and I was like, but Scott had one of the little babies that came over with the Japanese group, and he was holding it, and he kept on, and the baby would go, But that's what babies do. They're born inherently to understand what's going on inside the brain. That's the mind side. Then we talk about symmetrical. What is the ability to read and understand the biases that we already have of the successes and the failures in our lives? What are those biases that we have? Because it's usually your limiting factors, by the way. Whatever those limiting factors are, whether we're overconfident, whether we're underconfident, whether there's fear or concern, all of those are parts and pieces that make up our relationship to not only ourselves, but the people around us. And then the cognizance, the sensitivity or awareness to our surroundings. It's understanding what's going on. Have you ever noticed, I remember one time I was in Bangkok, Thailand, and Scott and I have been over there a number of times. Kuniko's been with me. for us at the time, Jeremy Bechtold. And Jeremy and I decided to go out and grab some food one night. I don't think you were there at the time. I think we may have met up later. But anyways, Jeremy and I are walking down a very dark alley on the way back to the corporate apartment. And all of a sudden, I noticed that I was walking really almost piggyback on top of Jeremy's back. I was literally walking so close to him because I couldn't really tell what was going on. Dark corners, dark doorways, very dark street. And I said, well, better story. Jeremy finally turns around and he goes, "Dude, what are you doing?" And I said, "Oh, I figure you can get killed first, and then I'll see what happens. If you get hurt, then I can run the other way, or I can run past the guy, then you'll take them and I'll get on." And Jeremy said, "You're safe. You're okay. You don't have to be worried about it. But there are places that I guarantee each one of us have been in our lifetime where you're not sure about your surroundings, and there's fear and trepidation. But what I want you to know is that with this business, don't be fearful. Don't have trepidation. Don't have concern. Don't hold yourself back. Don't do the things that are going to keep you in those limiting factors that don't allow you to grow and progress." That's really where we're at. So Kuniko said, "Everybody, I want you to take charge. I want you to start now. Take a fresh start. Let's go do it." That's not just for you in Japan. That's for every one of us in this room. Let's recommit. Let's refocus. Let's re-engage in this business. Let's do what we need to do to grow our company, to grow our business. And when I say ours, I'm not talking about mine. I'm talking about yours. Right? So here's what I want you to do. Say it with me. I am in business. I am in business. I am in business. I am in business. Thank you, everybody.
So, folks, I thought that was a great video. That was a great video, and we're all in business. We're all in business, to make some money. You don't go into business to lose money, and sometimes people say to me, they say, "Well, what do I say to someone? What do I use to as a lead-in?" My comment is, talk about what you feel comfortable with. If you don't feel comfortable talking about the business, learn more about the business, study it. I'll tell you right now, there's not a better time to get involved with Sisel. Think about this. And I know CBD isn't available all across the globe, but it's going to be. As they discover more and more about the health benefits, it's going to be available across the globe. But they're saying that the CBD industry will be a $25 billion industry in the next 3 years. Don't mind my fingernail. I smashed it. But 3 years, $25 billion industry. Think about this. The fastest growing branch of healthcare is anti-aging. People don't want to get older any faster. Do you want to get older faster? Absolutely not. And so they're finding that people are willing to spend hard-earned money to figure out how to stay young, how to feel young, how to prevent the diseases of old. We're seeing that scientists are getting involved with this. Mayo Clinic, this last year in 2019, they threw their hat into the ring. They said that they will be one of the premier anti-aging hospitals in the country, maybe in the world. They're working on a formula right now that they're saying is going to be the magic age pill, the age reversing pill. They can't call it the age pill. We got that, but they're going to come up with something. And one of their main ingredients is a form of chemotherapy. And I just kind of chuckle a little bit because I think if somebody offered me something that was anti-aging and it contained chemo, the only thing I can think is the opposite of aging is dying. So maybe they're gonna make it so they die. No, I'm just kidding. I'm being a little sarcastic with that. But seriously, when you take a look at what we have with Sisel, we are the premier anti-aging company. When I got involved with Sisel, we had 300 and some products at that time. And I thought, oh, we just need to narrow it down. We need to bring it down, and we need to really concentrate on the anti-aging products, because that's what set us apart. And a couple of years ago, that's what they did. It wasn't because of my suggestion, but they had consultants that told them the exact same thing. And they said, concentrate on anti-aging. And that's what we're doing. Think about this. Paul Zane Pilzer, who is considered to be one of the world's top economists, he said that the anti-aging healthcare industry was the next $1 trillion industry. The next $1 trillion industry. Think of that. $1 trillion. That's a huge number. That's a huge number. I don't know if you've ever tried to count that high, but it's a huge number. And you look at the other $1 trillion industries, the automobile industry is a $1 trillion industry. The computer industry, we're all on our computers right now. The computer was the second $1 trillion industry. And they're saying the anti-aging industry is the third $1 trillion industry. And it's being driven by the baby boomers who don't want to get older. Add on top of this that, like Aaron said in the video, that people just don't have enough money. People don't have enough money to make it. If something happened, they don't have $400 or $500. If all of a sudden they need to do tires on their car, they don't have the money for that. We've got a solution right here. We've got a solution to that. We can help people. And then you look at what they're forecasting. They're saying that network marketing, that the time has come again for it to have a big run. There's going to be a lot of people joining. Part of it's being driven because some people do have the extra money, but it's also being driven because the people who are looking for how to get the extra money. So you have the haves and the have-nots are both going to get involved for different reasons. And they're saying that we're going to see a huge spike in the next 5 years. We're in the perfect place right here with Sisel. We're in the perfect place. I've got my Sisel shirt on. I try and wear Sisel apparel when I go out. I want people to ask me, what is that? I put my Sisel hat on. When I travel, I carry at least one Sisel bag with me. I want to brand it. I want to brand myself. And get people to ask you, what is that? What is Sisel? And then you can tell them that you started your own anti-aging business on the side. You don't have to be a doctor to be an anti-aging. So anyhow, folks, thanks for coming with us today. Thanks for sticking around for the webinar. I appreciate you being here. For those of you that are watching this on YouTube, those of you that are watching it on Facebook, make a comment. Let us know that you're here. And I'm going to keep doing these videos every Friday night up here in the States. And for those of you in Australia, I know it's Saturday morning. Thanks for taking time out of your day. I really appreciate it. Have a wonderful day. Have a great weekend. And I look forward to meeting every one of you. Bye-bye.